Hey folks, this is the other Barak coming to you live and direct here from the Holy Land in Israel. Today we have a video of a Palestinian political leader talking about how Hamas has never been so unpopular inside of the Gaza Strip. This was on Fox News. You have to watch this video. Stick around till the end. Let's get into it.
Now, meanwhile, over in Gaza, the tide is beginning to turn against Hamas. More and more politicians are speaking out and voicing their support for peace. Now, my next guest, a Palestinian politician, says Hamas has never been so unpopular in Gaza. And joining me now to explain is the Palestinian political leader, Mudar Zahran, is with us. Mudar, thank you for being here. So we keep hearing these stories that Hamas, coalition government, keeps firing rockets from schools and from hospitals and densely populated areas. The Palestinian people are suffering. They push them back in their homes so they can be used as human shields. Has the tide really turned? Are they now supporting peace? And do they want to get rid of the Hamas coalition, the Hamas part of the coalition?
Well, I've been in touch with people in Gaza since this whole thing has begun. And I can authoritatively confirm that most Gazans have had enough with Hamas. You have to understand that Hamas is not only Hamas. Hamas is a part of a larger evil, if you want to say, hostile coalition with other countries. Basically, it's the Muslim Brotherhood, the global Muslim Brotherhood, which Hamas belongs to. Hamas has been playing double jeopardy with my people in order to gain political gain in the region and terrorize the moderate camp in the region. Basically, Hamas is now connected with Qatar, the government or the King of Jordan, and Syria and Iran. And for that, to make a point, a political point, Hamas doesn't mind if all Palestinians die. To answer your question, yes, most of them have turned against Hamas. Just 2 days ago, there was a protest in Gaza where people protested against Hamas, and 5 of them, I can confirm, 5 of them were shot dead by Hamas and 20 injured. So the tide is changing, and the only reason Hamas is keeping the ground in Gaza now is because of its military power. It's basically a dictatorship playing the agendas of other countries like Qatar and those hostile nations.
Well, Qatar is obviously funding Hamas with the money that they can buy the rockets, but isn't this part of a much larger struggle, and that being between radical Islam and those that want to hijack Islam as a religion, and those that are more moderate, that would like peace with Israel, but are afraid to speak out for fear that they will be viewed as apostates and that they themselves will be targeted for murder? Isn't that the underlying cause and why we don't hear from moderate Muslims more often?
It's exactly. Moderate Muslims would be killed if they voice up their opinion. And that's what we've been seeing in Gaza. And unfortunately, I have to speak out against the disappointment we, let's say, normal Muslims have, that unfortunately we can see the U.S. administration giving in to the radicals. The U.S. administration, I think it's well-intended, but it's a huge mistake that it's now courting countries like Qatar, a country like the Jordan's king, who is supporting the Muslim Brotherhood in his country and supporting Hamas openly through his media, and other countries. The line should be drawn in the sand towards those countries. Qatar is jeopardizing Egypt, jeopardizing Israel, jeopardizing my people, the Palestinians, and anyone who subscribes to that, he must be basically punished, and the U.S. establishment must look into that. I cannot stand and keep seeing my people being burnt alive in order to make Qatar's point and radicals' points.
All right. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Appreciate it. And by the way, it does put emphasis on Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the House, and her comments that the people from Qatar are telling her that Hamas is a humanitarian group. They are a terrorist group. But we got to go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I know that this video is a little bit outdated, but that doesn't matter because the substance is the most important part. Now, I can tell you that within the Israeli community and even those abroad who support Israel's right to defend themselves, there's a very thin line. I'm not even sure if for some people there is a line anymore that exists of trust. And we've seen footage over and over, replayed, it is ingrained in our minds, of Gazan civilians, Palestinians, teenagers, men, UNRWA workers, people who have lived in the Gaza Strip join Hamas on October 7th and take part in the atrocity that occurred. We have this whole notion of never again. The Holocaust, never again. And for me personally, somebody in their 20s, I wasn't alive during the Holocaust, but I was here in Israel on the 7th. I've been directly affected by the 7th. Everybody in Israel has been affected by the 7th, whether it is through 1, 2, 3, probably maximum degrees of separation. I can't forgive or forget the individuals who took part in that. I can't forgive or forget the individuals who support that, actively continue to support that, saying that Israel deserved the 7th. You guys should have had it 5 times worse than it was. They should have continued to go north. They should have taken the whole land. They should have done everything to everyone, because they would have if they had the opportunity. It's hard then for me and for many to trust a lot of the words and rhetoric coming out of the Gaza Strip from those civilians who claim that they go against Hamas, they don't agree with Hamas, they want peace with Israel. When I think about the footage and I think about what I saw and what I know what happened, and I speak to individuals from these bordering villages and areas in the kibbutzim and the moshavim on the Gaza Strip, you think that it's so easy for me then to just be able to listen to the people, the chosen ones inside the Gaza Strip. I'm not here saying that all of them are guilty, because for many, many months I've been saying over and over, an infant and a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, they're an infant and a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. The brain is still developing. Their prefrontal cortex still is developing. They still are understanding a little bit about what is this thing called life. They're trying to develop themselves, understand what their relationships are, who to trust. I don't think it's fair to say then that every civilian inside of the Gaza Strip is guilty. What I do think it is fair to say is that after what happened on the 7th of October, it is way harder for someone like me inside of Israel to listen to a lot of the innocent Palestinians, the civilians inside of Gaza, saying that they want to go against Hamas, they don't agree with Hamas. But then we see this footage of people rallying at these hostage giveaways. Like they're on stage at a theatrical performance playing wedding music, carrying dead people inside of coffins, including what was a 9-month infant, his brother, and what was supposed to be his mother, which was a Gazan woman, Shiri Bibas. They didn't give back Shiri on the first day. And then Oded Lifshitz, who was an 86-year-old great-grandfather, whose sole purpose in life was to try and help build relations between Arab people and Jewish people. So it's hard for me. This is that thin line. And for many, that line doesn't exist anymore. And I don't blame them. But I don't understand how, if there is no de-radicalization process to stop the indoctrination going on and stop the idea of just teaching hate to the infant, to the 1, to the 2, to the 3, to the 6-year-old, we're never going to have a world and a reality where there is some sort of eye-to-eye reality here, where we're able to see eye to eye, where we'll be able to have these neighbors that we've always said that we want, apparently. And we're going to continue, I'm going to continue, and we're all going to continue to scream against the injustice and scream against the persecution and scream against the despair and the destruction and the G word. And we're just going to continue to do that forever as if it's going to get us somewhere. Or we actually do something about it. But in order for us to do something about it, we're going to have to get to the round table discussion here and have both sides be able to speak to one another without one. And I'm absolutely pointing my finger at the Arab world, because it has been Israel and it has been Jewish people throughout history in the Middle East that have been willing to have this conversation and get to some sort of an agreement where both sides are willing to give up something, but willing to have peace while giving that thing up. But the Arab world hasn't. The Palestinians haven't. The radicals haven't. The Islamists haven't. The jihadists haven't. The martyrs haven't. That's where we are. That's the reality. That's indisputable. That is the position we are in. Whether we want to do something about the past, we can't. Israel has tried. The US has tried to intervene too. If no super genius Middle Eastern conflict, professor, if no one has come here to come up with some other alternative solution, what are we going to do? Because I'm sick and tired of making these videos, continuing to talk about the same thing every single day when I get on camera, as if I have to continue to fish ways for people who are misguided, people who might be confused, people who might not be able to tell the difference between, moral and immoral and right versus wrong. And I'm not saying that one side is perfect and one side is evil. There's evil on both sides, but there's a source to everything. There's a source to everything. And the source is not that difficult to source out, to find out, to discover when you dig a little bit deeper. When you dig a little bit deeper. And it requires dialogue with the individuals involved. And I'll go back again before I end this video and say, for anybody who might be misguided and might be confused, I am still offering a full trip here to Israel on me. Come here. We'll take you around. We'll show you around. And you know what? You're so interested in going to help the Palestinians in Gaza, who you think that, like, for the queers in Palestine that would support your cause, I'll get you a taxi to Gaza. I'll buy you a SIM card, an eSIM, so you can call me when you get to the other side. And when you join the Gay Pride Parade in the Gaza Strip, tell me how that's going for you. Let me know. See you guys next video. Introducing to you the hottest new series coming out of the Holy Land, The Israel You Don't See, where I provide a boots-on-the-ground reality every single week, uncovering the untold stories of your everyday Israeli people. It is only accessible here on Patreon every single week. The link is in the description. Join right now. It is the best way to support my channel, and you can also support on PayPal or buy me a coffee. Thank you so much. I'll see you next video.